Welcome to another edition of Raw Lite. I am the real deal, Chris Steele, and I give you a short snippet of what happened on Raw this week by either giving it 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, nothing, 1 thumb down, or 2 thumbs down. Let's get into it. This week, we had Roman Reigns win the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. He comes out, he gets booed, he challenges Finn Balor. Not a bad opponent to challenge. I think he's well deserving of an opportunity, although you probably didn't think it was going to happen. And we'll find out later in the show. Then Kurt Angle comes out. He says, Corbin, Bobby Lashley, you're going to have a match. Bobby Lashley gets the win over Baron Corbin. Next up, we had Paul Heyman in the back with Kurt Angle asking, or actually more telling Kurt Angle that Brock Lesnar wants to initiate his rematch clause for the title. Kurt says no. They say it's going to happen somewhere down the road. We will see. Personally, my thoughts is WrestleMania again, because why not? The biggest show of all to have that championship match. Next up, we have a 6-women tag match. Ugh. It was a good match. It was. Not truly sure where we are going with this. Sasha Banks, Bayley are out there. We have the Riot Squad out there. Are they trying to make this a women's tag division? If so, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Good match overall, though. Just not sure where they're going with that. Next up, we have Triple H comes out and gives a 5-minute promo on him versus The Undertaker coming up in October. So, he says this is the last time they're going to face each other. Probably going to be Undertaker's aging, Triple H is aging. He's also doing a lot of the work on Raw, NXT. So he's got a full plate already. Wrestling is just extra. So it's not like he has time off in the back. So we will see how that match goes. I hope it's better than what we saw in Saudi Arabia at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Those matches to me were just like start, keep going, middle, end. There was no build, down, and then back up for the finish. So we'll see what happens with that match. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they do it justice like they did at WrestleMania in the Hell in a Cell match. Next up, we had Dean Ambrose in his first match back versus Dolph Ziggler. Holy cow, great match. It was an awesome match. Dolph getting the loss on this, although we did find out that he hasn't renewed his contract, so could be a reason why. But Dean Ambrose does get the win on this. Finish was awesome. He grabs Dolph on top, puts him on top, throws him, catches him into his finish, DDT, Dirty Deeds, whatever you want to call it, puts him out, 1, 2, 3, awesome match. That was a good look, though, for Dean Ambrose coming back. Looks strong, just like his body now, and I think he's been working on his gimmick in the back. Next up, we had Elias versus Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins says that Elias can be the one that he beats for his first win in what was it, like 200-plus matches. Whether that's accurate or not, don't know. But we were all cheering, fighting for Kurt Hawkins. But Elias does get the win, unfortunately. But it did build up Kurt Hawkins, I think. Go over and watch Pines Up or Pines Down. You'll see how we feel about that, building up Kurt Hawkins a little bit. Next match, we had Authors of Pain versus Titus Worldwide. Authors of Pain get the win. Although it was a good match, I thought it was building up that tag division on Raw, which it so needs, because obviously you're seeing that there's not much. All we have is a B team versus we're not even sure anymore who we got now that Matt Hardy's gone. But great match overall. Apollo Crews showing his athleticism as I always knew he had, but unfortunately they did not get the win. Authors of Pain go over on that match. Next up, we had the Ronda Rousey presentation. Kind of an awkward segment. You had the faces, or the baby faces, or the good girls on Ronda's side, and then you had the heels or the bad girls on Stephanie's side. So what you see out there is an awkward presentation. Why they gave a presentation just because Ronda Rousey won it doesn't make sense. I don't want to see girls coming out on Ronda's side except for Natty, because they're actually friends, because Ronda is tearing through the locker room. You want that to be as believable as possible, although they are trying to build up this women's evolution and their pay-per-view of an all-women's pay-per-view called Evolution. So they're trying to build that at the same time. That's why they're doing this. but I'd rather just see Ronda come out and, steamroll through people and them not be her friends and her not wanting to be their friends either. Next up, we had the B team, and they faced both members of Revival in 2 singles matches. We had Curtis Axel losing and also Bo Dallas losing. Kind of odd, but I think they're trying to build up a feud between the two. Like I said back when I was talking about Authors of Pain and Titus Worldwide, I think they're trying to build up what SmackDown has, and that's a tag team division that is pretty strong. Raw doesn't have that yet, so I think that is where they are going with this. And last up, we have Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. One night, less than 24 hours later, we have a title match already. And what happens? Braun Strowman comes out, says he's going to cash in. Although the one thing that is so weird, and I'm not sure if anybody knows this, is every time someone cashes in, they act like they don't even know what they're talking about. Everyone looks confused. They act like this hasn't been around ever, and this is the first day that there's ever been a Money in the Bank contract out there. And then everyone just looks around. Where do I go? Where do I go? You give them, you give them the briefcase, tell them to ring the bell, and the match starts. But a huge return of the Shield comes out, saves Roman Reigns. I personally thought that the Shield was going to turn on Roman Reigns. Roman becomes the heel that everybody, I think, so wants. And then obviously Rollins, Ambrose, and Braun all stay baby faces as they already are. But that was a huge return this week. I think it kind of overshadowed the whole show. But if I'm giving this my grading, I'm going to do a 1 thumb. There wasn't much substance to the show, although we had two big segments. That was Dolph versus Dean Ambrose, and then we had the return of the Shield with an almost cashed in Money in the Bank contract. I think those things overshadowed the whole show, because if you go over to Pints Up and Pints Down, you will see how we felt about the show once we broke it down. But as far as a grading for this, 1 thumb up for Raw this week. Keep building. Hopefully it builds up to Hell in a Cell, and we have ourselves an awesome Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Again, this is Raw Lite. I gave it 1 thumb up. Leave a comment if you want to tell me how you feel about my grading scale. Also, don't forget to go over to our other channel and watch Pints Up or Pints Down, where we rip apart both Raw and SmackDown. We will see you again next week on Raw Lite.